This diver is a lone explorer in thousands of miles of underground caves, the last unexplored place on Earth. His journey is as dangerous as they come, because getting stuck in these caves is not just claustrophobic, it can be deadly. For this man, these 5-foot-long sharks are family. He's known them since birth, and is now in a desperate race to save them from total annihilation. A supertanker burning out of control, gushing tons of oil. It's an accident that happens again and again in a world of virtual reality, where sea captains use technology to avoid disaster. Next on SeaTek. Eric Hutchison is venturing where no diver has gone before. He's 170 feet beneath the ground in Florida, worming his way through a labyrinth of freshwater limestone caves. His mission? To map these caves and collect scientific data. Danger hides within every passage. Equipment could fail, or walls could collapse. He swims in constant danger.
They're very, very hazardous. There's piles of collapse that have to be manipulated. So I'm the guy who goes crunching through this really little area, and a rock slides, boom, and pins a leg or breaks your guideline, and it can get really, really tough.
Eric is a cave diver survivor. He's cheated death over and over to explore what he considers the most fascinating place on Earth. Using high-powered lights and special breathing gases, he'll spend up to 8 hours squirming through incredibly narrow tunnels. At 5'5", he's well suited for this tight-fitting work, but often, he says, the danger comes from within.
If you don't control fear, if the fear escalates into panic, you're dead. It's all over. To explore beyond the end of the line, to push the edge of the envelope, you have to really enjoy and understand fear.
This is the Florida Plateau. Geologists the world over marvel at Florida's vast limestone strata called karst. They believe water flowing underground from the Appalachian Mountains has carved the karst into a Swiss cheese-like network of tunnels.
These caves are living, breathing animals. They're still growing, they're still changing, they're still moving.
Since 1990, Eric has published over 60 underwater cave maps. He's perhaps the world's only full-time cave cartographer.
I love science, I love exploration, but to make a living at this, you have to produce something, and I produce art.
Today, Eric will lead a research expedition into the Silver Glen Springs in north central Florida, a honeycomb of fragile rock and hazardous tunnels. Each diver will carry waterproof pens and slates, measuring equipment, over 200 pounds of dive gear, and padding to protect against the sharp cave rocks.
That's a skid lid. That pretty much keeps you from going completely bald. Otherwise, the top of my scalp might look like that. When you go through these real low areas, you're constantly just scraping right along the ceiling. We destroy a lot of dive gear. All right, adios.
At shallower depths, divers are fresh prey for alligators and poisonous snakes. With an eye out for predators, the descent begins. Approaching certain vents, Eric and the team will be ripped by intense currents.
I mean, you're literally just holding on. Your mask is wanting to blow off your face. I could probably relate it to holding on to the wing of an airplane as it's flying.
The team hopes to reach a depth of 170 feet, 50 feet further than recommended recreational dives. Cave divers sometimes descend to 300 feet, requiring electric scooters to save their breath. Eric begins his mission, to survey every tube and vein of this craggy network. As all cave divers must, they will lay a guideline to help them find their way back out of this twisting maze.
As the guideline is going through the cave, like this, we'll lay the survey slate right on the line and collect all the azimuth and angle information. And then with our digital computer depth gauges and decompression monitors, we record the azimuth, the depth, and the distance of the line, all the detail of the passages and the water flow, which way the water's going, where the rocks are falling, or where specific bacteria are along in the cave.
Besides mapping this system, these cave divers are also on a mission to seek out undiscovered life forms. Caves offer a rare glimpse into a highly specialized habitat, one with little food and no light. Dive team biologist Tom Morris has captured these blind white crayfish that inhabit the dark caves. He'll also search for yet undiscovered microorganisms that pharmaceutical companies might develop into new drugs. Squirming through tiny holes, carrying his tanks in front or alongside, Eric conquered his claustrophobia long ago.
Everybody has had a claustrophobic moment, no matter how great or small. Sure, I went beyond my limitations, and I got scared to death on a few occasions. You have to respect fear. And if any caver tells you he has not been scared, he's lying and his ego is going to kill him.
A few years ago, Eric had a close call. Cave divers from around the globe embarked on a major expedition to Mexico. The Nohoch-Nanchi underground cave system is the largest in the world, a magnificent realm of exquisite danger.
I felt completely safe, just like it being in the mother's womb. And one of the tanks that I was using bumped an outcropping. And when I bumped that outcropping, it came down and landed right on top of both of my legs, pinning me into the silt.
Eric thrashed about until he could swim to safety, escaping Nohoch without injury. He's thankful. At least 6 cave divers have drowned in recent years. After diving the caves, he uses chalk and pencil to add form and color to black and white data. Later, Eric takes his drawings to be scanned and enhanced by a computer artist. The finished originals sell for up to $5,000. Reprint maps are sold to other explorers, geologists, and government agencies charged with protecting our natural resources.
It supplies environmental agencies with water quality management issues. It tells them which way the water is flowing, where these large voids are underground so they don't put a waste treatment plant right on top of it. So as we're surveying and exploring, we're actually trying to search for knowledge to protect the resources of our planet.
There are thousands of uncharted underground waterways to be explored all over the world. Eric regards his maps as historic documents, precise pictures of virgin territory that will constantly change, offering new images and scientific insight that will protect this still mysterious resource. Coming up next, he knows every shark in these waters, and he's in a race against time to save them.
This may be the biggest lemon shark I ever measured out here. Giant lemon shark, pregnant, full of young, probably 10, 11 young.
Working in the shallow Caribbean waters off Bimini, Dr. Sam Gruber is slowly unraveling the secret of one of the most misunderstood creatures on Earth, the shark.
Scanner. Number.
Using an arsenal of sophisticated technology ranging from devices that track the speed at which sharks swim to tiny transmitters that can be coordinated with global positioning satellites to precisely determine their location, Gruber has put the shark under unprecedented scrutiny. He hopes the knowledge he gains from this technological infusion can help alter the way we view and fear these great predators of the deep.
Most people consider sharks as a menace, as something to be killed because they kill people, and that shouldn't be allowed. And of course, that's a tremendous myth. It is true that sharks do attack and even kill a few people a year, but I would say elephants kill 10 to 30 times more than sharks do, and everybody loves elephants. And never mind what bees, lightning, dogs, and the rest of them kill.
You can send one with one shark and one with the other, over.
Gruber has been one of the world's leading authorities on sharks for nearly 30 years.
At the University of Miami, a Navy-sponsored study of shark eyesight is being made by Dr. Sam Gruber.
Here, under the electron microscope,
His interest in sharks dates back to his college days when he began asking questions about sharks and found out that almost nothing was known. So he changed his major from pre-med to marine biology and has spent the decades since studying this unique fish and trying to overcome its fearsome Jaws-style reputation. He points out that compared to 10 people a year who die on average by shark attack, humans kill over 100 million sharks a year.
The real killing machine, of course, is man, because man mechanically invents devices to kill.
The global slaughter of sharks is especially appalling to Gruber because so much of it is unnecessary. Millions of sharks caught by accident in the nets of commercial fishermen are routinely killed and dumped. Countless others are taken only for their fins, a Chinese delicacy. Gruber believes this type of mass carnage will have a devastating effect on life in the sea.
If you take out one whole section of hundreds and millions of the top predators, the end result is you're going to make a change in the ocean that sooner or later will come back to bite you. The shark won't bite you. The change you've made in the ocean's ecology will bite you.
Yeah, now let's work together on this.
At this point, it's important to find out exactly what role these sharks play in a more scientific or quantitative way than we've been doing in the past.
At his research lab in Bimini, 40 miles east of Miami, Gruber and his student assistants have assembled an impressive array of high-tech gear to put shark behavior under surveillance.
To study lion behavior, you need a field book, a pencil, a tape recorder, and a pair of field glasses. To study a shark, what can you do? Nothing, because you never see them. You can't observe them, you can't count them, so you have to use these hidden methods or indirect methods, like putting transmitters on them.
Electronically wiring sharks is hardly a job for the timid, but in the interest of science, that's exactly what Gruber and his team must do. When SeaTek returns, Sam Gruber tracks the lemon shark in one of the world's most shark-infested waters, and how captains can experience a total sea disaster without boarding a real ship. The lemon shark can live 50 years. It's this species that Sam Gruber has devoted his life to studying.
I use the lemon shark as a model species, just like medical researchers use the white rat. And I've got a 30-year database on their life history, biology, physiology, and behavior.
The waters in the Bimini lagoons are shallow, the perfect breeding ground for the lemon shark.
There are more beautiful sharks. There are more elegant ones. But I've worked with them for so long, you know, they're like family.
And like family, lemon sharks return to the lagoons here on a regular basis to mate and give birth. To study infant mortality rates, Gruber and his team begin in the shark nursery.
We got one. Okay.
They set nets to capture the 2-foot-long infants, measure them, and implant a tiny tagging device that has a coded number that can be read electronically and identifies the specific shark that carries it. It's the size of a grain of rice.
What I am now able to do with this thing is actually inject it under the skin of the animal, which causes no discomfort, and I now know that shark forever.
By tagging all the infants in a given year, Gruber and his assistants can conduct a yearly shark census. It not only tells them how many sharks are still alive, but how well they're doing.
Every lemon shark we catch, we can go back into our database and find out when we caught that shark, get all its measurements, and after we remeasurement, we could tell its growth rate. We could tell how long it's been around here.
I'm still getting sharks now from the first time I tagged them. And we got one from 1988 last winter. It was a little baby about 22 inches, and when we got it, it was nearly 6.5 feet. And this tells us a great deal.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Larger mature sharks are caught on long fishing lines. They're measured, a snip from the fin is taken for DNA analysis, and they may then be fitted with other types of devices. This transmitter ultrasonically relays information about the speed of a swimming shark. This is called a pinger. It pulses a number code which not only identifies the shark, it also gives its location. The pulses can be picked up by an underwater listening device known as a hydrophone.
Prior to this study, nobody had the first idea about the digestion rate of a shark. We never knew how to relate what they ate to how they grew. We never knew what kind of activity space a typical baby shark needs. So this information all came out of our study.
According to Gruber, lemon sharks are among the most dangerous species of all to work with. They will bite if prodded too hard. But in all this time, Gruber's never been bitten. And even if he were, you can't help but believe it wouldn't slow his enthusiasm a bit.
I do this because I'm crazy about sharks and I love to find out about them. But I could never publish a paper just by saying I'm crazy about sharks. You have to have a general principle that will advance scientific knowledge somehow. And this is what we believe we're doing.
But there is more to it than just scientific inquiry. Gruber sees himself as pitted in a bitter struggle against those who would rob the ocean of one of its oldest denizens.
The struggle is to try to make the crazy death fish from hell myth and turn that into more of the reality of the magnificent predator. I'm trying to tell the people out there something about sharks, give them a little feeling for my enthusiasm. Now, I will not be successful with all of them, but I might be successful with some of their children.
If it sounds like a crusade, it is. One that Sam Gruber thinks is crucial for the well-being of the seas and the world that relies on them. Coming up next, it's like driving a skyscraper, and it's one of the most dangerous jobs on Earth. Now captains are using virtual reality to avoid disaster. August 11th, 1993. 100-foot flames dance amid the thick black smoke in the skies over Tampa Bay, Florida. Firefighters try to contain the fiery aftermath that results when a 400-foot-long cargo ship, the Balsa 37, collides with two barges at a narrow bend in the ship channel. The collision with the first barge touches off violent explosions. 235,000 barrels of jet fuel on board burn out of control for nearly 24 hours until the barge is destroyed. The second barge spills 120,000 barrels of heavy black fuel oil into the bay.
This is the Balsa 37 to the Seafarer. What the heck you doing out there, Captain?
You mean what am I doing, Cap? I thought we agreed on one whistle, hold up.
Two whistles with the Seafarer.
Captain Jerry Pinnell is reliving this accident from the bridge of a new version of the Balsa 37. But this time, the ill-fated voyage is taking place entirely on land, here at the Simulation, Training, and Research, or STAR Center, in Dania, Florida. The events leading up to the collision are being recreated in this computer simulator. The decision-making process of these pilots on board the three vessels is being closely scrutinized by maritime students to try to determine exactly what went wrong.
Hard to port. Full astern.
Full astern.
Brace for collision.
Seasoned ship operators come here from all over the world to participate in an elaborate demonstration of virtual reality.
Some people may look at this and say, this is just a video game, a giant Nintendo. But when the people are out here, they are on a ship. They feel that they are actually on the vessel from the scenarios that we create.
The illusion begins with a mock-up of a ship's bridge, complete with radar stations, autopilot, communications, and navigational instruments. Outside the bridge, a 360-degree marine environment is projected onto giant video screens. The instrumentation and the projection are linked by computer, so that when the wheel turns, the ship appears to respond just as it would at sea. And just like at sea, the weather can vary from foggy to bright, from day to night. Some simulators even have a motion platform that simulates a ship's pitch and roll at rough seas. The voyage may be an illusion, but the seasickness can be all too real. In the control room simulator, student engineers monitor gauges, flip switches, and respond to orders from the bridge. Even the hum and vibration of the engines change in response to orders to alter course and speed.
What's ever happening on the bridge will translate to the engine room. What's ever happening in the engine room will translate to the bridge. If there's a malfunction in the engine room, it may affect how the ship is maneuvering.
The Star Center currently offers simulations of more than 100 ports around the world. The instructors can also choose from a repertoire of 50 different ships for the students to sail. They might even throw in a nuclear sub or a helicopter as a distraction, or even change the currents or wind speed to push the student vessels toward danger.
When we're in the middle of a drill, it will become very realistic. Your blood pressure will rise, you'll begin to sweat, and you'll begin to become frantic somewhat, not to the point we're panicking, but your adrenaline does start to rise as much as it would be on a ship.
We also create situations where perhaps there is no solution. We are putting the captain in a situation where he is going to run his ship aground. There is no other option, and we want to see how he handles it, how the communication flows, and this again is something that you would never be able to do obviously on board.
At $3,000 per day, ship operators recognize the value in testing their employees in simulator training. The stakes are simply too high. The Star Center's clients operate oil tankers of various sizes, tankers with price tags reaching $50 million. The typical oil tanker is 900 feet long, the length of 3 football fields, and 70 feet high from the hull to the top deck. If such a ship were tipped up on end, it would be taller than the combined height of the Washington Monument and the Statue of Liberty. At the usual running speed of 13 knots, about 15 miles an hour, it can take 3 miles to bring these massive vessels to a stop. One need only look back to the Exxon Valdez incident in Alaska to see the enormous costs incurred when one of these leviathans can't be stopped short of disaster.
It's not practical to take a ship out and to have a steering failure to run it aground to see how you're going to handle the casualty. But that's something that you can do here. You can simulate that type of an accident.
And who is responsible for the fiery collision in Tampa Bay? The National Transportation Safety Board says all 3 vessels share the blame because they failed to properly communicate their intentions with each other. It was human error, as is the case in the vast majority of maritime accidents. From 1983 to 1993, an estimated 200 million gallons of oil have been dumped into the Earth's oceans and waterways as a result of maritime accidents. One day, perhaps, with the continued advance of simulation training, the only spills will occur in virtual waters.